how to gain confidence. So, few guys that I've met recently have been um, not explained to me, but they kind of told me about it. Said like, how are you confident enough to like do stuff like this, um, like on obviously on platforms like this, and like and just yeah, just kind of look like it's not something that is scary, or
Mhm.
something that I fear. And I remember saying like, man, I'm actually terrified when I do stuff like this. Yeah, well, it's
Yeah,
like you can get bashed anytime. Yeah, well, you can
yeah,
so many things that could go wrong. That you feel
yeah,
like like someone can come through and say, hey, you know what, this and this, hey, you need to shut up, hey, you need to do this and all of that stuff. And when I said that, I realized just actually how much they were fearful, you know.
mm,
And sometimes, as a machita, you chill around and you chill with each other and you think like, oh, you know what, like, um, I'm chilling with my boy and we're talking and the way we talk is kind of like the same wavelength. So therefore, he probably is the same way as me, right?
yeah,
And it probably happens the same with girls. But then you find out that there's certain instances or certain situations where, man, actually that person lacks a lot of confidence. Yeah, but
yeah,
then it's like he'll either mask it or he will then kind of show you what he needs to show you, right?
yeah,
At that moment, and then be like, oh, geez, like, when he's alone, be like, I'm very, very scared or very terrified. And I was thinking, how
yeah.
do you then tap into someone like that? How do you then kind of instill someone's bravery or confidence? Um, but in the same way, you're not actually going to then make them fall deeper or worse into that zone of being even less confident in themselves.
Well, I think most of us sinjalo, because nami I'm as guilty as charged, bro.
Mm,
Sometimes I do lack confidence about when izinto, you understand? But I think when there's umuntu udinga ukuthi ngathini, you must find yourself, uzithole ukuthi ukuphi nendawo, and then uyibuze ukuthi into ofuna ukuyenza uyifuna kangakanani ukuyenza, you understand? Ibalulekile leyo nto leyo. Um, for instance, mhlawumbe let's say ufuna ukuyofunda, yabo,
mhm.
but mhlawumbe uku-apply, you understand, apply e-varsity or whatever. Kudinga ukuthi uyibuze and ukufuna kangakanani ukuyofunda leyo degree uyayifuna noma uyifuni, so even fethu ekwenzeni izinto zifune umuntu ukuthi ukuphi ufunani, yini inhloso yakho ngokwenza into ethile,
Mm,
and kuyasiza futhi ukukhuluma nabanye abantu to gain confidence, you
mm,
understand.
mm,
Lento unabantu ekuthiwa ama-psychologist,
mm,
yabo, ilento nawe unomuntu okuthiwa uyini confidant ukuthi okunye ongakwazi ukukhuluma nabanye ukwazi ukukhuluma naye,
mm,
yabo. So kube khona into eyifundayo njengomuntu uma wenza into ey'fana nalezo, uma ukhuluma with a confidence or uya kwi-psychologist or ukhuluma nje nabantu but uku-apply, kube khona into eyifundayo.
mm.
So yeah, long story short, kubalulekile ukuyifuna njengomuntu ukuthi umnguphi and ufuna how bad do you wanna do whatever that you wanna do, yabo.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah.
That's yeah, yeah. I think it's also like a lot of people don't actually realize, but now, um, that people are like being scared is part of life. You have
Yeah,
to be scared. It's what regulates you. It goes back to that whole conscious and subconscious thing. You need to have that fear part so that you don't do too much, that you don't die, and
yeah,
you don't kill anyone, hopefully. But at the same time, you want to then break barriers and start things that you never thought you'd start. So it's a fine line that you need to
yeah,
understand that there is, but then there is fear and there is um, uh, there's fear and there's confidence, right? And it's again like what you're saying, it's what you choose. But now you find that again, in order to, I find like a lot of times where when you're confident, it's not really something like even when you do it, you're terrified. You know how
mhm,
it is, especially with guys. When you speak to a chick, for example, someone that's
mhm,
you're afraid to get rejected. Yeah, well,
Yeah, true.
yeah, that's the one thing that you never want to do, because that's why
Yeah,
we do so many things in order to get a girl, for example. You know,
yeah,
we go through so many steps. You clean the bed for the first time. You clean your room for the first time. You buy food for the first
yeah,
time. You clean the house. You on time for the first time. You get them there. You get them to leave. You do so many things that you wouldn't do for yourself. Yeah, well, just
hmm
to say a girl. And then you find that then now if you've done all of that and she rejects you, it's like your whole world crumbles down. Yeah, well,
yeah, yeah,
same with anything, same with school, same with sports, same with culture, everything. You find that then like you go to school and you go and you apply and you go and you get the marks and you go to school. Now you're sitting at a test and
yeah.
then I've studied, I've done all of this, but what happens if I fail this?
Mm,
Then it's like,
mm.
whoa. And that's the sources of anxiety and depression. You find that
Sure,
with,
sure.
with anxiety and depression, those thoughts that you have then become actually from again a subconscious type point of view to very much the whole conscious thing of
Mm,
this is actually possible. And then you start
yeah,
feeling that. Then you start feeling actually I can fail this, I will fail this, I am failing this. And then it goes, it spirals down. Yeah, well,
yeah. So like ngezwe le ishoyo mhlawumbe ithi sibuyele to le ndaba le yokuthi yabo you as a guy like you ufuna intombi yabo and
mhm,
then uyasaba ukukhuluma naye because usaba uzokureject, you know.
mhm,
So umbuzo mina engiyibuza wona ukuthi okay, do I really wanna be with naye lo muntu lo, ngiyamfuna ngempela, ngiyafuna ukudate naye?
mhm,
If the answer is yes, then I have to face my fears.
mhm.
How do I face my fears?
Yeah,
Regardless uzongireject,
yeah.
just speak to her.
Mm,
Confidence ke leyo.
mm,
You
yeah,
understand? You face your fears
yeah. For a lot of guys,
and
again, I think again, what you're saying is completely true, Fit. And you find that a lot of people, again, it's like it's a weird thing, but when people always say that, like, in order to succeed, you have to fail level, and
yeah,
you
yeah, true.
generally fail more than most people, right? You take
Yes.
most chances, but then you get that one chance, and then you take it, but that's only because you know what the other bad chances are. Yeah, well, it's the
Yeah.
same then again with confidence. It's with school, with work, with getting a girl, with getting a guy, with getting married, with everything,
Yeah.
every aspect of your life. You find that
Mm.
then if you're not willing to take the chance, first of all, you've already refused yourself, right?
I
So
mean that's defeatism.
yeah, then you've already rejected yourself, right? But if you
Yes.
trying to say, okay, you know what, this is scary. I want to start a business. This is scary. I want to go with this chick. This is scary. But what's the worst that can happen? Okay, the
Yeah.
worst that can happen is I cannot get this, or I can lose all my money. Okay, will
Mm.
you die? Mm,
No.
maybe, maybe not. If you want to skydive, maybe you could die, or maybe you can't. Okay, cool. But now,
Yeah.
when you look at the negative, or you look at where you could be if you do it and you fail, and where you could be if you do it and you succeed, then you
Mhm.
always find that the success is so much more uplifting than the negative,
Yeah.
right?
And
Which
mhm.
is why people gamble. That's why people
Mhm.
gamble because and life is a gamble, but it's just about how much you're willing to do it and how much you are in a specific in which area of life you want to gamble. You don't want to gamble, lose, and then okay, well, it's gonna come somewhere. It's like okay, but then there's other factors that you need to think about. How are you gonna live? How are you gonna survive? Are you gonna be able to do that? If you're able to do that, okay, cool. Then gamble. If you have whatever, however much money you have left, and maybe you would win. But then, how much
Yeah.
is it going to become an addiction, and how much of it is going to become something that's going to affect your other life? But with like other things of getting a girl, it's like, okay, if I'm rejected, what's the worst that can happen to me? She can reject me,
Mm.
and then I can go and like someone else and like them, or he can reject me, and
Yeah.
I can go and like someone else, and it's going to bash my self-esteem a bit, but then I can do that. But then you know that if you go to him, and then he accepts you and he says, listen, I want to date you too. Now you've grown so much, and now you're able
Yeah.
to go to other girls. And you find that every guy that gets a girl, every guy that gets a job, or every girl that gets what they want, they went through something that were really scared of, and then
Mm.
got a boost somewhere. And then when they got a boost, then they were able to go to other places. and then lose, but then say, oh, you know what, I have this boost, so then get a boost another time, and then it just spirals. You see?
Yeah, and like I think in the accelerator, if we is to think too much about what would happen if fail.
True.
So qala ekhanda everything ukuthi uzifida umcabange njani. So uma let's say like uyasaba to go to umuntu esifazane ufike umtshela ukuthi ufuna ukuba naye, the more you think about reject her is the more uzosaba ugcina ungayanga, you understand. Kodwa if ungakucabangi kakhulu lokho and just do it, and then confidence, you've defeated the fear.
And it's very important. Yeah, that's true, boy. And I think it's also very important to firstly understand that failure can happen. That's a possibility, right? So then what are you going to do when that happens? Prepare for it. Once you prepare for it, and you know that when it happens, you know what the next step is going to be, right? And then also, secondly, you need to understand that you need to train those things. You need to train being successful. You need to train being confident. You don't just, you could have 10 people, or say football or cricket, right? You can have 10 times to pass a ball to someone, right? And then you fail 9 times, and then the 10th time you get it. But then you know that, okay, so I know what I did the 9 times. I need to keep doing what I did the 10th time. Then the next time you'll get it twice and then miss 8 times. Then the other time, and then it fluctuates until you say, okay, now I can do this, now I move on, right? But you need to be able, again, when you failed, you said, okay, well, what's my alternative? I need to practice, right? I need to do it again. And then once you do it, then you're training your mind and you're training all your psyches to say, oh, actually, you're not saying that you're not able to do it. You're saying that you are capable of defeating what that you thought that you couldn't defeat. And that's so much more powerful than saying that, no, you know what, I can't do this. Because then you can't, you won't even try, right?
Yeah.
And then you find that then it's same with cricket. If you go and you're playing and you miss the ball, right? You can easily say, you know what, I'm gonna miss the next one, and then chances are is that you're gonna miss the next one because you're positively reinforcing that negative thing that you're doing, right? But if you say, oh, it's finished, cool, next one I'm gonna hit it, you might hit it and you might not hit it, but it has nothing to do with the previous ball, right? So you just need to make the necessary adjustments and keep positive, and then you find that those small things actually translate into a lot of things in your life. Because then it becomes chemical imbalances and neuron structures in your brain where they say, when this person faces adversity, he likes to go this way. He likes to go that way. He doesn't go the other bad route. He goes this way. Every time that you put something in front of him, he goes this way. And then you find again that if someone is confident in one thing or finds confidence in one thing, then you find that then they find confidence in so many other things as well because it's a neural structure. It's not something that's just related to that. You know,
and like, I mean, I don't think it's a failure should be something negative. Failure should be something positive because I would say uma ukwenza into mhlawumbe ethe uyasaba ukuyenza but eventually ugcine ngokuyenza, you've succeeded because usuyenzile, even if ungathola ama-results owafunayo, but you have succeeded because uyenzile. You understand? And
you need to tell your brain,
you just didn't exactly. You just didn't get the results wafuna kuphela, but it doesn't mean it's any failure there. No, you just didn't get the results wafuna, but you have succeeded.
Yeah. And you keep reinforcing it because even when again it's like that's the ways to kind of overpower addiction and anxiety and depression. As much as yes, we know that it's very psychological. It's very much something that's in the brain and there's chemical imbalances. But those imbalances can be balanced or can be oppositely imbalanced in the sense that if you were more negative, you can then become more positive just by small things that you change. So again, it's like if you are, I want to stop drinking or I want to stop smoking, and then tomorrow you wake up and you say, oh, you know what? I didn't drink yesterday. You wake up and then you say, I didn't drink yesterday, so I'm happy, right? And then you drink the next day. Then you all of a sudden, are you going to be now sad that you didn't drink that day too? You need to say, you know what? Actually, yesterday I didn't drink. I drank today. Fine, I might have failed that, but what am I going to do now? Am I going to then keep drinking and then fail more, or am I going to push more? then you say, you know what, let me try what I did yesterday. You go back, just like the analogy with the ball and the football. You say, well, you know what, now I'm going to try and do more of what I try, or more of what I know what to do.